I'm Dr. P, and this is download 5, rollers. In this download, we will look at our upper and lower decompression exercises. We will show you our standard method, which is kind of traditional, and you probably have seen elsewhere if you've ever seen these, as well as several modified versions, which we will show you, and the ones that work best for you, feel free to use them in the regular sessions, and particularly in session 4, the 600. Now, I'm going to start with the upper rollers first. So I'm going to stretch out, and first we're going to show the standard way. This amounts to the hands behind the head, head flat, everything's touching the ground. The arms come up, the forearm in here is perpendicular roughly to the ground, or whatever surface you're on. We then roll to the left and roll to the right, and roll to the left, etc. Now, some people will find that having their hands tight together like that causes some compression of the fingers. You can make that looser. You can even make it almost non-existent, but it's good to keep the hands behind the head to get the full effect. Okay, so again, we roll to the left, we roll to the right. Now, for some people, that's going to be painful because of the way their muscle and fat tissue is on their back, and the way that when their arms are up straight like this, the blade, or the shoulder blade back there, and some of them is pushing into the surface that they're on. If it's a hard enough surface, it's mashing things and it hurts. Now, there is a way around that, and this is what we recommend for most of you. It will turn it into more of a swimming stroke, although for the regular sessions we'll continue to show the standard. Once again, hands together, hands behind the head, and we come up, but instead of this roll, we stretch the arm and then roll. We're still rolling the same 90 degrees, but when we do this, the shoulder blade is tucked in, as it would be in a backstroke. Now, this is not a backstroke, but we do get a little bit more of that movement with it, and you get a tremendous shielding of those areas where you would feel some pain. Another thing, some people will find going all the way down with their head is difficult or impossible, even though they've got good mobility. If you can't get all the way down, don't worry about it. Just stay at the point that you need to be and cushion yourself with the hands. That's one of the reasons they're back there. So those are the two main methods, plus, like I say, hands can be further or closer together, and the head can be at whatever angle that you need it to be for this to work, having been cleared by your physicians first. Now let's look at the lower rollers. There's a lot more that we could do with that. We'll begin again with the standard. We are up, and this time the perpendicular line is coming from our femur or our thigh down to the ground or platform underneath, or the backbone if you want to look at it that way. Now, with the standard one, with the knees together, we go all the way over, keeping our elbows down, and we go all the way back, keeping our elbows down, and I didn't do it. Okay. And as we go with this, we will gradually find ourselves moving down the surface that we are on, which is what our intention is, because we're working all of these areas and we're decompressing the back, primarily the lower in this case. Okay, now, again, for some people's anatomy, there's going to be a lot of pain down here if this area of the joint is hitting a hard surface. Soft surface, not as much, but it still can cause a problem for some people. So we have several other ways you can get the same effect, i.e. the effect we're looking for is this 90-degree roll in both directions, a 180 in total as far as the trunk is concerned. Okay, so instead of keeping it together like that. Some folks will find that by spreading their legs just a little bit, and some will find it cannot close all the way, it's easier to go down. And it gives it a little bit of a different angle, which again is somewhat less painful. That's one. Another one is, and this may be the best one for a lot of folks that feel this, again, this is a matter of anatomy, this is not a matter of something being wrong with you. Instead of the right angle and you go down, you stretch just a little bit and you roll over, and you stretch just a little bit and roll over. A lot of you will find that that is a lot easier because that takes the whole hip joint out of this prominent location, covers it with some muscle and some other tissue, fat baby, but you know, we're going to get rid of that fat. And you can go at a very nice clip, really, once you're used to it. It won't be any slower, and the key point is it won't hurt. So let's go back up and show you that again, because this is an important one for some of you. We're coming down, we're coming over, we're coming down, we're coming over, we're coming down, we're coming over, we'll go slow, we're coming down, down, down. But the same, like I said, 90 degrees as far as this part of the body is concerned, and the same ultimately 180, back and forth. And that gives the effect that we want. There is another one besides that, which I'm going to show you. It's actually part of another version which we will do in the advanced course, but we're only doing one part of this here, okay? Alright, so instead of, we go like that, we go like this, as we go, we start to go down, we tuck up and go down. Tuck up and go down. Tuck up and go down. Let's do that slowly. Tuck up and go down. Tuck up and go down. And we'll tuck up and go down. Now, just like the others, you're doing the whole 90 degrees in each direction and a whole 180 in total as far as what the lower back is seeing, and it is very much helpful. Any of these you'll find, and also with the head, when you're doing the upper body roller, it will pull your body in that direction. When you're doing the lower body rollers, it will pull it in that direction. When we tuck it up like that, we do a similar thing to what happens when you stretch it out, which is you change the angle of the hip joint, and consequently you decrease the pressure on it, and that stops pain. Now, that is the key stuff as far as the rollers. As far as the surface that you use, that should be what is comfortable enough for you. We're using a floor in a hall to show that it can be done in limited space and with limited circumstances. But it can be done on a mattress put on the floor, it can be done on a bed if done very carefully. It can be done on an exercising pad, it can be done on grass, sand, or, soft dirt. Whatever you have available that works for you, and it works for you, is plenty good enough. Alright, so let's go back and review briefly. Our standard upper roller. Just like we showed in the sessions, the arms are up perpendicular, the fingers are locked behind your head, and we roll to the left and we roll to the right. With our modified versions, we can decrease the tightness of the fingers together, we can raise the head some if we need to, and we can also do this extension of the arm, rotate down, extension, rotate down, extension, rotate down. And as I'm saying, for the great majority of you, this is going to be much less discomfort than doing it the regular way. Although, doing it the regular way, along with everything else that we're doing, will work perfectly well because you will build up muscle and you will tighten up the tissue around those areas as well as losing fat. So it's a win-win no matter what, but I want it to be something that works for you. That's the way you're going to get from the beginning of this course to the end of session 4. All right, this concludes the 5th download.